For nearly 3 decades, Matt Damon has been sitting comfortably among Hollywood's biggest stars. Oscars, blockbuster movies, millions of fans, the whole package.
Why should I believe you, Freddie?
You think it's easy to come and talk to American?
But while cameras followed his every move, one major part of his life stayed unusually quiet: his marriage to Luciana Barroso. She rarely spoke publicly, stayed away from Hollywood drama, and kept their family life behind closed doors. And when somebody stays that private for more than 20 years, people start asking questions.
The feeling it built was this incredible kind of team ethos that really carried through the entire production. It was an amazing experience.
That silence created a mystery around their marriage. Tabloids pushed stories about alleged tension, cheating rumors, and secrets nobody could prove. But away from all that noise, Damon and Luciana's real story started in a place nobody expected, and under circumstances that sound almost too perfect for Hollywood. Back in 2003, Damon was already at the top of the game. He had an Academy Award for co-writing Good Will Hunting. The Bourne identity had turned him into an action star, and studios were lining up for him.
He moves into our house. I think I had a little yard in LA, but he'll be great out there.
But fame had another side. Paparazzi were constantly watching. Fans approached him everywhere, and even something as basic as going out for a drink could become chaos. Damon had everything Hollywood promised, but almost none of the privacy. Luciana was living on the complete opposite side of that world. Born in Salta, Argentina, she was working late shifts as a bartender at Crow Bar in Miami Beach while raising her daughter, Alexia. She wasn't chasing cameras, connections, or celebrity status. Hollywood simply wasn't her scene. Then came one night in April 2003 that changed everything. Damon was in Florida filming Stuck on You when his crew convinced him to go out after shooting. It was supposed to be nothing serious, just a chance to chill after work. But inside that Miami club was the woman who would eventually become his wife. And Damon had no clue that walking through those doors was about to change his private life for good. Things inside the club went sideways fast. Autograph seekers and excited fans spotted Damon, and suddenly, people were crowding around him, pushing closer and trying to get his attention. Damon needed somewhere to disappear, so he made an unexpected move. He ducked behind the bar where Luciana was working, but Luciana wasn't starstruck, not even close. She looked at this Hollywood A-lister standing in her workspace and basically wanted to know what he was doing back there. Damon could handle studio executives, directors, and packed movie premieres, but now he was dealing with a bartender who wasn't impressed by celebrity status. When Damon explained that he was hiding from the crowd and wanted to stay behind the bar, Luciana wasn't about to let him chill for free. She handed him an apron and a bar rag. If he wanted to hide in her territory, he was going to earn his spot and help her work. Here's where the story gets even crazier. Damon actually knew his way around a bar. Years earlier, while preparing for The Rainmaker, he had spent about a month working at a Tennessee bar, learning how to mix drinks and serve customers. That random Hollywood training suddenly became extremely useful. Damon jumped in, pouring beers, mixing drinks, and cleaning glasses alongside Luciana. Once customers realized an Oscar winner was behind the bar serving drinks, their section became the place to be. The crowd piled in, business exploded, and Luciana suddenly had a very unusual coworker helping her through the chaos. Years later, Luciana shared another intriguing detail with Vogue Australia. Damon apparently remembers seeing her as though a literal spotlight was shining on her across the room. Luciana remembers something far less cinematic, a regular dimly lit nightclub. Two completely different memories of the same night. But whatever Damon thought he saw, something between them clearly clicked. As the night went on, something unexpected started happening between Damon and Luciana. They talked, laughed, and connected naturally, without Luciana treating him like some untouchable Hollywood star. When her exhausting shift finally ended, Damon invited her to an after-party with his film crew. It seemed like the perfect chance to keep the night going. But Luciana shut that idea down. She told him she was a single mother with a 4-year-old daughter waiting at home. Partying with a famous actor simply wasn't more important than getting back to her child. And according to Damon, that rejection didn't push him away. It did the exact opposite. He later said this was the moment he fell in love with her. Her priorities were crystal clear, and his celebrity status wasn't going to change them. That reportedly hit Damon differently. After dealing with Hollywood's non-stop attention, he had met someone who wasn't chasing fame, premieres, or access to his world. Luciana had responsibilities, boundaries, and her own life. Instead of getting swept up in the moment, she stayed focused on what mattered to her, and that only made Damon more interested. What happened next was surprisingly low-key. Their relationship developed largely away from cameras and red carpets. Damon had experienced high-profile relationships before and understood how quickly public attention could invade something personal. He had even told the Washington Post that he wouldn't date another celebrity, saying the attention magnified the parts of fame he disliked while interfering with what actually mattered. For roughly 2 years, Damon and Luciana kept their romance unusually private. Then, in September 2005, Damon proposed. No giant media rollout, no carefully staged announcement, just a private engagement. 3 months later, they took secrecy even further. On December 9th, 2005, instead of throwing the kind of extravagant wedding expected from a major Hollywood star, Damon and Luciana quietly married in a small civil ceremony at Manhattan's City Hall. No massive celebrity spectacle, no paparazzi circus, just the two of them making it official, while much of Hollywood barely had time to see it coming. Their wedding was so private that the only guests were Luciana's daughter, Alexia, and a handful of close friends. They had originally planned to marry in Florida around Christmas, but after word reportedly reached the press, those plans changed fast. Instead of letting cameras take over their moment, they kept everything extremely low-key. Then their family expanded quickly. Isabella arrived in June 2006, Gia in August 2008, and Stella in October 2010. Damon also became a father figure to Alexia, and he later described stepping into that role as being thrown into the deep end. Suddenly, one of Hollywood's biggest stars wasn't just dealing with movie sets and premieres. He was helping raise 4 daughters while trying to keep their lives away from the celebrity circus. But the picture-perfect story eventually faced something far heavier than Hollywood gossip. In 2010, Damon's father, Kent Damon, was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, a serious blood cancer affecting the bone marrow. Kent had been a marathon runner and someone Matt saw as incredibly strong, making the diagnosis especially difficult for the family. For years, they watched Kent battle the disease. Then, as his condition worsened in late 2017, Damon made his priorities clear. He stepped away from major Hollywood commitments and canceled appearances so he could spend time with his father. He even missed the 2017 Britannia Awards, where he was supposed to receive the Stanley Kubrick Award for excellence in film. Behind the scenes, Luciana helped keep their household steady and their daughters largely protected from public attention, while Damon focused on his dad. Then came the devastating news. Kent Damon died on December 14th, 2017, at 74. Damon later described an emotional dream in which his father embraced him, bringing back the powerful feeling of protection he remembered from childhood. He also spoke about Kent's close relationship with Ben Affleck, explaining that the two had shared a deep bond. It was a brutal period, far removed from the polished Hollywood image people normally saw. And just a few years later, the family was hit with another completely unexpected situation. In March 2020, Damon had traveled to Ireland to film Ridley Scott's The Last Duel, when suddenly the pandemic shut down normal life, and what was supposed to be a movie shoot turned into something nobody had planned for. Then came another situation nobody could have predicted. When the pandemic shut down travel in 2020, Damon, Luciana, and their 3 youngest daughters found themselves stuck in Dalkey, Ireland. Suddenly, one of Hollywood's biggest stars was living like a local, shopping in town, and spending time around the quiet seaside community. But underneath that peaceful picture was a serious family worry. Their eldest daughter, Alexia, was in New York City for college and became sick with COVID-19 during the early outbreak. With international travel heavily restricted, Matt and Luciana couldn't simply fly across the Atlantic to be with her. Damon later said Alexia recovered, but being separated during such an uncertain moment was frightening for the family. Years later, Damon faced another challenge, this time involving his own health. While preparing to play Odysseus in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, he underwent a demanding physical transformation and dropped to around 167 pounds. Damon has since made it clear that at this stage of his life, extreme weight changes and dangerous stunt work aren't worth the risk. Protecting his long-term health and being there for his family now comes before pushing his body too far for a movie. But family pressure wasn't the only drama surrounding Damon. Hollywood had its own strange story waiting in the wings, and one of his most famous feuds wasn't actually what it looked like. For more than 2 decades, Damon and late-night host Jimmy Kimmel have kept audiences guessing with their supposedly bitter rivalry. Yet the whole thing started almost by accident. During an early season of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Kimmel ended a rough episode by joking that they had run out of time for Matt Damon, even though Damon wasn't scheduled to appear. One random joke was about to turn into a Hollywood rivalry that refused to die. The joke worked so well with Kimmel's producers that he kept repeating it. The wild part? Damon later said. People started calling him asking what his problem with Kimmel was, even though the two hadn't even met. Kimmel had basically picked Damon's name out of nowhere, and one throwaway joke was turning into a fake Hollywood beef. Then Damon finally appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live in 2006, and they took the gag to another level. After a huge dramatic introduction, Kimmel suddenly claimed they were out of time. Damon played furious, cursed at him, and stormed off. The performance looked convincing enough that plenty of viewers wondered if the tension was real. From there, things got ridiculous. Damon teamed up with Kimmel's then-girlfriend, Sarah Silverman, for an Emmy-winning comedy music video. Kimmel fired back with Ben Affleck, and the fake feud grew into increasingly elaborate stunts. Even at the 2024 Oscars, the joke continued when Messi, the dog from Anatomy of a Fall, appeared in a gag involving Damon's Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Behind the scenes, though, Damon and Kimmel are friends. The feud is comedy, not an actual war. But Damon has faced controversies that weren't jokes. After the Harvey Weinstein allegations exploded publicly in 2017, Damon faced tough questions because of his earlier connection to Miramax. Damon said he knew Weinstein had a reputation for bullying and womanizing, and knew about an alleged incident involving Gwyneth Paltrow, but maintained that he was unaware of Weinstein's criminal sexual misconduct. Then came another backlash. In 2021, Damon appeared in Crypto.com's Fortune Favors the Brave campaign. After cryptocurrency markets later crashed, critics slammed the commercial and questioned celebrities promoting risky investments. Damon later explained that he accepted the deal while his clean water organization, Water.org, was facing financial pressure, and Crypto.com also donated $1 million to the organization. And through all the public noise, Damon and Luciana have remained highly protective of their family's privacy. especially when it comes to keeping their children away from unwanted paparazzi attention. Damon and Luciana have worked hard to keep their daughters away from the intense attention that comes with Hollywood fame. But while their family life stays guarded, controversy around Damon hasn't disappeared. More recently, Artists Equity, the production company connected to Damon and Ben Affleck, became involved in a defamation lawsuit over the rip. Two Miami-Dade law enforcement officers alleged that the movie too closely resembles a real raid they participated in and falsely suggests officers took seized money. They are seeking damages and a public retraction, adding a serious legal dispute to Damon's already complicated Hollywood story. But the questions that have followed him longest involve his love life. Before Luciana, Damon's relationships were prime tabloid material. In 1997, he dated his Good Will Hunting co-star Minnie Driver, and their romance quickly became part of the movie's massive buzz. Then came a breakup that Driver later described very differently from Damon. During a 1998 appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show, Damon publicly said he was single. Driver later claimed she discovered their relationship was over through that television appearance, calling the move fantastically inappropriate. Damon later disputed that version of events. Then came an especially uncomfortable Oscar night. At the 1998 Academy Awards, Good Will Hunting won Best Original Screenplay, while Driver sat in the audience and Damon attended with Winona Ryder. Driver later recalled being heartbroken and feeling like cameras were waiting to capture her reaction. Damon and Ryder had reportedly been introduced through their Hollywood circle and soon became one of the late 90s most watched celebrity couples. But after roughly 2 years, they quietly split in 2000. This time, there was no explosive television announcement. Both largely avoided discussing the relationship publicly, and over the years, they appeared to remain on friendly terms. But those highly public romances would eventually make Damon's quiet relationship with Luciana look completely different. And that's where the marriage rumors become much more interesting. Even after Damon and Winona Ryder split, there didn't appear to be lasting bad blood. Damon publicly defended Ryder during the scrutiny surrounding her 2001 shoplifting case, while Ryder later spoke positively about him. Before meeting Luciana, Damon also dated Odessa Whitmire, who had worked as an assistant to Ben Affleck. That relationship ended in 2003, shortly before Damon's unexpected Miami encounter with Luciana. But once Damon got married, another kind of story started following him: infidelity rumors. One of the strangest examples exploded in 2008 after Sarah Silverman released her viral comedy song involving Damon. Some people took the joke seriously, but there was no real affair behind it. The entire thing was an elaborate comedy stunt connected to Jimmy Kimmel Live. While Silverman was dating Kimmel, over the years, tabloids have repeatedly tried to turn Damon's friendships and Hollywood interactions into marriage drama. But no credible evidence has established that he cheated on Luciana. Even playful comments from co-stars have been turned into gossip. Damon himself has joked that paparazzi basically get the same boring story from him: a married father spending time with his family. So what has actually kept this marriage going for more than 2 decades? According to Damon, part of the answer is surprisingly strict. He and Luciana developed what became known as their 2-week rule, designed to stop his Hollywood schedule from keeping them apart for too long. The idea was simple. Damon wouldn't spend extended stretches away from his family whenever it could be avoided. That meant major productions sometimes required serious adjustments. Instead of allowing months of filming to create distance, family time became part of the calculation behind his career choices. Damon has described those sacrifices as a kind of sanity tax, the price of protecting the life he values outside Hollywood. He has also called Luciana his soulmate and emphasized the importance of spending as much time as possible with the person you love. Behind all those scandalous headlines, the real arrangement may be much simpler. Hollywood can have Matt Damon the movie star, but it doesn't automatically get unlimited access to Matt Damon, the husband and father. But Matt and Luciana's marriage has another surprising layer: couples therapy. They have openly discussed using therapy to handle major decisions before disagreements become bigger problems. One session produced an almost unbelievable deal. Damon agreed to take a break from acting, with one exception. If Christopher Nolan called, he could take the role. Then Nolan actually called. Damon was offered Oppenheimer, and Luciana honored their agreement. At home, they also prioritize family dinners, putting phones away and trying to keep everyone present. But Luciana's role has changed too. After years behind the scenes, she has become more involved in filmmaking and earned producing credits. Damon has also praised her creative instincts and script feedback. The bartender, who once wanted nothing from Hollywood fame, eventually became more than the superstar's wife. She became a trusted creative partner inside his world. Luciana's Hollywood story has now come full circle. She produced The Instigators, starring Matt Damon and Casey Affleck, and has also worked on The Rip, featuring Damon and Ben Affleck. Damon has said Luciana had quietly helped behind the scenes on his movies for years, without taking credit. On The Instigators, she reportedly wasn't even planning to take a producer credit. But the other producers insisted her contribution deserved to be recognized. Think about that journey for a second. She met Damon while working behind a Miami bar, wasn't impressed by his celebrity status, and literally put the Hollywood star to work. More than 2 decades later, she's working alongside him as a producer and creative partner while they continue navigating marriage, family, fame, rumors, and Hollywood pressure together. And maybe that's the biggest twist in their story. After years of headlines trying to uncover some explosive secret behind Matt Damon and Luciana Barroso's marriage, the more interesting discussion may be how they've managed to keep it going in an industry famous for relationships falling apart. But what do you think? Is their success mainly about boundaries, therapy, family priorities, and keeping fame under control? Or is there more to their relationship that the public simply never sees? And do you think working together will make their marriage even stronger? Or could mixing business and marriage eventually create new pressure? Drop your take in the comments because this one is definitely up for discussion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who follows Hollywood stories. And don't forget to click the next video on your screen for another deep dive.